Hello everyone, it's Moran aka Starseed Tarot. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a VR to Simon at the Hermit's cave. He created a tag called #Myworkhorsedecks and I thought I would jump on this tag. So if you want to know what kind of deck I use for shadow work or for inner work or anything like this, just stay tuned and I'll see you on the other side. Hello again. So as I said in my introduction, this is going to be the VR to Simon at the Hermit's cave. I will put all the details to his channel and his video in a box down below, so you can check the original video. And he basically created this tag, so just to inform people and to kind of help, because he has a lot of people asking him what decks he uses for what kind of work. So he created this tag. So there are 7 prompts in his original video. I just added one extra at the end. It's something I'm working on, but I haven't done it yet, but it's something I want to do in the future, so I thought I would include it. But basically the 7 prompts are number 1, a deck for shadow work. Number 2, inner child work. Number 3, pathworking, so a deck you use for pathworking. Number 4, a deck you use for personal growth and development. Number 5, a deck, your ride or die deck. Number 6, a hello there. And number 7, a hello again deck. So I will explain the prompts as I go along. Starting with the number 1, a deck for shadow work. So shadow work is something you work on issues that you're not necessarily seeing about yourself, or that you don't want to deal with, and you just need the deck to help you put a light on these issues and see the way why you react this way on certain situations, or why you have this type of feelings on certain situations. And the cards usually might not be. Every deck, to be honest, can be used as shadow work, because it's just the intention that you put on your work. So every deck can be used in this, but I have a deck, and I don't think it will come to anyone as a surprise, that I use because it's telling me the truth as I need to hear it. And this deck is the only oracle deck that will be in this VR, and this is the Purgatorium Hex tarot decks, oracle deck, sorry, by Jens. So you can find him on Mr_Friborg_Arcantum. Sorry, I'm losing my words, but yeah, that's the Purgatorium Hex. So obviously, I think you probably have seen it before on my channel. It's in my top 10 decks. It's in plenty of my VRs. I've done an unboxing, like a flip through recently of this deck, but it's really a deck. So some of the imageries can be a bit challenging, like this one, for example. But also what I love is the guidebook, and the fact that this deck is telling you the truth, like you need to hear it. So here, for example, at random, you have education, learning, being in open and receiving state of mind, spiritual growth, moving forward, test, preparation, confidence, understanding and succeeding, sharing knowledge, mastering a trait, re-educating oneself and improving. And then you have a low polarity meaning, wanting to learn but not being able to, lacking discipline or enthusiasm for own self-improvement, feeling too old to learn, being rusty at something. So, you know, like when you work on shadow work and you're like, why, for example, why am I stuck in this situation? And it's something regarding education. Well, this card will tell you because you're lacking discipline, or you're not enthusiastic enough, or you don't really feel like you are worthy of improving, you know, all this kind of stuff. So I like this deck because this is full of truth. and again is the Purgatorium X, and you can find it on Yen's. I will put all the details anyway, but you can find it on Yen's Instagram, or like if you follow his link in bio, and you can find it there. So that's the first one for shadow work. The second one for inner child is gonna surprise a lot of people, because a lot of people are using this deck for shadow work, but to me the characters of this deck are so cute and so funny, and they bring me back to kind of a period of time where I was alone in my garden and playing with all these, like all the insects and all the weird creatures, because when I was a kid I always thought they were weird creatures, all insects and animals and all stuff like this. But this is the Shadowland Tarot. It's by Monica Brodisky, I can't remember how to pronounce her last name, and I just think this deck is, to me, it's inner child, because I don't know how to explain, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just find these little creatures like almost like they are toys, you know, and I just find them so cute, and so like look at him. I feel like he's so cute, you know. A lot of people are using this deck as a shadow work deck, but I just don't find it this way. Everything, the colors, the creatures, it reminds me a little bit of, like, you know, all these creatures that when I was a kid I was fascinated by, you know, like vampires and like witches and stuff like this. I was always fascinated by these creatures. I was also very fascinated by spiders, even if they scared me. I used to go and watch spiders, you know, like watch a spider for hours just to see if they will catch like a fly or something, and once they will catch the fly I will watch them how they store the food and everything, you know. I know it sounds a little bit like a psychopath thing, but it's just I was just very curious about how nature worked, and I think this deck is a lot about like nature and weird creatures of nature, like bats and vampires, and I don't know, it brings me back to when I was a kid and I was fascinated by all the creatures, and even the way the creatures are made makes me think about when I was a kid. Like, it reminds me of some cartoons that I've seen that creatures were weird, and it reminds me of these books that I used to read as well when I was a kid. It's like this horror series, but for kids. I can't remember how it's called now. I know the name in French, but I can't remember the name in... it's Goosebumps, I think. It's Goosebumps or something like this, because that's the translation in French, so I would assume it's Goosebumps. It reminds me of these books, and it's just like... I like this deck for inner child work. Then there's the pathworking, a deck you use for pathworking. So a lot of people have different versions of pathworking. Some people like to have cards that are actually there's no one inside the card. There's just like a path, for example, like for example the Elemental Power Tarot, for example. The full card is just showing you a way, and then you can imagine yourself going through the path that is showing in the card. And then some people say that they like to immerse themselves in the universe of the card and speak to the characters in the card, or immerse themselves in the universe and feel the energy of this. And I feel more related to this, and for this kind of work I love to use my Star Child Tarot. Again, it's a deck that I love. This one is by Daniel Noel. This is the Akashic version, and I just love it because it's all related to space and everything. And this is the deck I would use for pathworking, just to meditate and immerse myself into this universe where it's cosmic, and like it looks not from this planet, you know, like and yeah, ask the people, like, on these animals and get their energy and like the energy of the people and be like, why are you here? What can you tell me? You know, like, look at how beautiful it is. I like to do this and imagine myself like either the person, the character there, or imagine myself with the person and be like, what can you teach me? So, and I like, because it's in a universe where I want to be, like I kind of want to be in the cosmos and everything. I've always been, it's the same, I've always been fascinated by space. Even when there was a movie in the cinema about space and all this kind of stuff, I would always want to go. I just love there's a kind of fascinating feeling I have when I watch a movie about space and imagining myself in space. So yeah, that's the deck I would use for pathworking, just to immerse myself in this universe while I'm meditating, kind of immerse myself in the cosmos and have the energy of different beings and all this kind of stuff. And this is the Star Child Tarot. The next one is a deck you use for personal growth and development. And for this one, I use a deck that I rarely show because I use it mostly for myself. I've never used it for anyone else, and I don't really use it on Instagram either. And this 78 Tarot Ecological. So it's a collaborative deck. Just a backstory, I didn't buy this deck, I won it in a giveaway. But yeah, I love this deck, and why I use it for like personal growth and development is because honestly this deck, I think this deck has been made for me, even if it's a collaborative deck. So Activist of Air, so you have different titles, you know, and all the titles of the court cards have been renamed. I kind of bits of my personality. So we have Protector, we have Activist, we have Idealist, and then we have, I won't be able to find it now that I'm looking at it, Nurturer. So we have Nurturer, and I feel all the court cards have been renamed in a way that I can relate to them. So this is all regarding Earth and like our actions and how our actions are impacting our life on Earth and the nature and Earth itself. And I think there's a part of me that always want to protect Earth. There's a part of me that is an activist that always want to do something to better our action or my actions and find ways to improve, you know, to improve life on Earth and to improve our conditions and to improve the way I can work in a way that I will not damage Earth as much as I do, or reduce my CO2 imprint and stuff like this, you know. And there's also a part of me that is an idealist. I wish we lived in a very safe environment and where the planet would be a good place to live and where there would not be so much pollution and so much suffering of the animals and all this kind of stuff. So I use this because I'm always saying good stuff like this, you know, like I want to do this, I want to do that, but this deck is challenging me, saying like, okay, but what are you really trying, like what are you doing, like concrete actions? Are you doing anything, or is just saying? So I use this deck for my personal growth and development, just to see on what areas I can work, so I have an impact, you know, on life on Earth, you know. And also I love this deck. I think the imageries are beautiful. So just to let you know, it's a collaborative deck, so that's why you might see a lot of different pictures, because they have all been done by a different artist, which is again something that I love. I love this lovers card. It's one of my favorite of all lovers. If you've seen my video about all the lovers cards, it's one of my favorites. But yeah, I just think this card is amazing, you know. And these cards, they're all so good, you know. Like Activist of Earth, look at this one. So yeah, this one is the deck I use for personal growth and development, and more in a way because I have like an activist and idealist heart. So I'm an idealist and an activist at heart, and it's more like, right, okay, so I think about this, I think about improving my life on earth and like all this kind of stuff, but is there any actions that I need to do really to implement this? And on some of these cards, you know, you will have like, for example, animal suffering or stuff like this, or maybe someone planting a tree or something like this, and it will give me indications on how I can better myself on developing myself to protect the earth and to do what I want. So that's another one. The next one is Ride or Die deck, and this one will also not come as a surprise for anyone, and is the Light Seers Tarot. I have mine in this little pouch since the beginning. I have it. I have this tarot pouch with it. I etched mine in kind of green to follow a little bit the back. But yeah, everyone has seen this deck before, so I'm not gonna necessarily show all the cards, but this is the deck I always pull. So it's my Ride or Die deck. It's the deck I always pull if I want a quick answer. If I want a quick answer, I don't really have time, I just pull it's the first one that will come to mind. If you just contact me and say like, can I please have a quick answer to something, it's not the one that will choose to go deep into something. If someone wants a quick answer to something, I will pull this one. I have friends sometimes that text me about situation and say like, can you pull a couple of cards quickly, and that's the one I will choose. This is the one. So that's my Ride or Die. When people say like, oh, we going for drinks and do you want to come, can you take a tarot deck so we can just have some readings, that's the one I take. So that's the one I take all the time. The Light Seers Tarot. It's either this one or the Fontaine Tarot, which I take a lot also for friends, for reading for friends, but it depends in what type of energy I feel like they are, because I think the Fontaine Tarot is a little bit more direct and this one is a little bit more like a little bit softer. So if I feel like they need a soft but true answer, I will take the Light Seers. If I feel like they need something very direct and no joking around, I will usually prefer to take the Fontaine. Anyways, the next one is the Hello There. So it's a deck that you just acquired, but you can't get away from it and you can't stop playing with it. And this is my Ashley Cook Tarot that I just recently got. I got it last week, to be honest, and since then I haven't stopped touching it. I took it at work with me. I put it in my bedside table. Every time I wake up, I just look at this deck. I just did a flip through of this deck recently, so if you're interested in looking at it and the cards and everything and what I think about it, just you can watch this video. But yeah, that's a deck that I just received and I just love it. I can't stop playing with it. It's just always with me, always there. And I don't know why I'm so attracted by everything about this deck. I'm attracted by the imageries, the universe it gives. It's kind of weird. And it's just like, again, it's a deck that I feel like has been done, like not as much as the Tarot Ecological, which touch different parts of my brain, you know, and my mind, how my mind works regarding our life on Earth. But this one is more like touching parts of my weird brain, and I just love it. So this one is another one that I have, and I can't stop touching it. The next one, so the next prompt on Simon's video and the last one that he did, and this is not the last one for me because I have another one after that, but it's Hello Again. So it's a deck you rediscovered or recently repurchased. So I have two because I have one for each. So one that I rediscovered recently, that is an old deck that I used to work with, and I just rediscovered that I really enjoy working with it. And then I have another one that I repurchased and I actually really enjoy working with it as well. So the first one is the Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright. I love this deck. It's one of the... I started to edge it in this kind of purple color. I didn't finish, but I will finish at some point. But yeah, I absolutely love this deck. I worked with it a lot. I've done I don't know how many readings with this deck, and it was always on point. It was always on point, especially when it was regarding like some you can see the cards are a bit damaged, material and financial kind of answers, like questions. It was always giving me the right thing. It's kind of to me it feels like a kind of earthy deck, so I can't use it all the time, but well, I can, but it gives me a very earthy vibes, you know. So it's very grounded. It's very grounding deck, and it's very grounded. So it's very good for all things that are related to material possessions or jobs, you know, and stuff like this. So yeah, this is a deck that I've recently worked with it a little bit, and I was like, I actually enjoy working with this deck. And so yeah, and like just flipping through the cards now, and I really enjoyed this deck. I just find it very nice. Yeah, so this is the Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright, and this is the deck that I rediscovered. So an old deck that I used to work with a lot, and then has been left a little bit on the side, and now I rediscovered it and I enjoy working with it. And the one that I rebought and repurchased is the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot deck. So I had the big version. I didn't really enjoy working with the big version, but I really enjoy working with the smaller version of the deck. I use this as a clarifier, so I don't use it as a standalone deck. So I will never use this deck alone. Well, I say never, maybe one day, but at the minute I use it as a clarifier, and I'm very happy of the things that I was able to feel and get when I was using it for clarifying every other cards on my readings. And I just think to be honest, it's a beautiful deck, but for some reasons it works better for me as a clarifier than when it was full-size version. When it was full-size, I never used it. When I was using it, I was not happy with what I was getting. So yeah, so that's another one I have, and this is a deck I repurchased, and I'm very happy with it now, and it's the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot. And the last one is something that I want to start working on, and it's the prompt would be, if there was an eighth prompt, would be a deck that you use for past life readings. So I have never done it. I'm still trying to understand how I'm gonna do. I've asked some friends if they want to be like guinea pigs, if I can do readings for them using this and doing like past life reading. And for this I chose the Stretch Tarot. So you can buy it on this website, www.stretchtarot.com. And this is the deck I've chosen for to use for past life reading. So I love this deck. It's a collage deck. I actually didn't plan to use it as this. I bought it because I was like, oh, this is an interesting deck. And then I received it and I was like, oh, it could be an interesting deck if I want to explore past life readings. So that's how the idea came to mind, and that's how I want to use it, and that's why I'm gonna practice now in a couple of weeks, just to see if I'm good at it, or if I enjoy doing past life reading, if I get anything, if I can do it, you know, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, that will be the eighth prompt. If I had to do one, it will be a deck that you use for past life readings. So I'll let you know how it goes regarding this, because I don't know how it's gonna go. I have a couple of friends for which I will do the readings and just see how it goes, and I will probably ask more friends as well. So yeah, that was my VR to Simon at the Hermit's Cave. Again, if you haven't seen this video, all details will be in the description box below, so go and check out his original video, because it's very interesting. Simon is always providing good content and good insight knowledge of how he works with decks and everything. So I really enjoyed this video, and it gave me inspiration to do this video as well. And then so many other people did it, so check these out. It's always fun to have a look at all the VRs, how people experience things with decks and all this kind of stuff. So thank you very much guys for watching, and I hope I'll see you soon. Bye bye.